Last video I got for today. As I promised, we are going to discuss certain formations about what is good where as far as troop formations go. This is going to be an info dump. I will put this in the description below so you guys can view it. But I'm not going to attach the explanations because it's just too much to type out. Been recorded for about a total of 4 hours today. I had to do a couple retakes this morning. So let's get into it, right? So obviously for troop formation types, as I've said a million times, there is going to be all shooters, all carriers, all guardians. I will attach the teams for those in the description below. There's a little bit of this change, not much, mostly with guardians. So I'm just going to completely bypass those. What's changed is that, especially if you're a shooter main, you can use mixed formations now. Combat speed got a little nerfed. Getting the first hit isn't as important now, especially as people are starting to ascend, so to speak, to the same level with the same amount of evolutions and everything. It does help to get the first formations. It doesn't always mean that you're going to get the win. And the other thing is with germs and cells and genes now adding such a high percentage of attack. If you have, say, 600% attack, losing 30% total is the same as losing what? Not even 20% of your attack, I don't think. Hold on, let's do the math. So it's the same as losing 5% of your attack. And the trade-off for that is that instead of having that 5% of attack, you have a stronger first and or second line to be able to take more damage, to be able to last the entire match. Which is going to, depending on what formation you use, all of these are situational, depending on who you're fighting against, what the meta is, how it changes. So for me, what I've been using, I don't have GT, but I've been using Slim, Gold Armor, and JJ. I am going to have Bullet soon, probably within 2 weeks, I hope. And it'll be Slim, Bullet, and JJ. And all those I'm going to star up too. I can't star any up yet. There's no point in doing a star up unless you're going to 2-star it. So I'm gonna do 2 stars at a time. Anyways, so that's gonna be the first thing. Is you really want Giant Tooth for these formations to work, especially if you're gonna do the first one. The benefit to doing this is to have that extra layer there so you can fight the entire 8 rounds. If you're doing all shooters now, it's not guaranteed that you're going to make it the entire 8 rounds, which means you're, in theory, depending on how the battle plays out and what the other person has, you should be able to make it the entire 8 rounds, do more damage, and win. It doesn't always happen that way. There's some other things that go into it on the more advanced level, but that's the basis of this theory. Now, to explain these teams, Giant Tooth, Bullet, and JJ are good against carriers. They're all high damage. If you're really, really close, you could try substituting Reapmaster out only if it's 2-starred. It needs to be 2-starred. It does not hit consistently. It does not fire consistently enough otherwise for it to be reliable. The next one would be GT, Slim March, and AG. AG, I'm going to actually go and change this. It's going to be with Sugar. So it should be GT, Slim March, and Reapmaster. Again, 2-starred. Let me explain to you why and where this. So where it's going to be useful lies within one ability from Sugar and one ability from Acid General. This reduces defense by 30% at last 2 rounds. So you want this in the middle. You want it so it can fire. It has a decent chance of firing. And you want it to be able to fire on the entire row in front of you. You want it to fire on all 3 rows, so they're all taking damage. Now the next thing to look at is Acid General, and I think it's this skill. Yeah, so this also, at the highest level, increases damage taken by 18%. So the combined, if they were to fire in the same round, which they probably won't, but there should be overlap. So you should have, if you're using both of these skills, there should be overlap. Where this is good at is both for carrier ants, but more importantly for guardians as a counter. If you have these skills fire, it's going to be easier to take out guardians specifically because of how high their defense is. I just made a video, I will link it below, explaining the differences as to why that is. But when you're a shooter against guardians, especially since they're weak against guardians, you want to lower their defense as much as possible so you can do as much damage as possible, especially with your skills. So that was for guardian shooter. The next is going to be carrier shooter. And the teams here are going to be Giant Tooth, Slim Arch, and Reap Master. Where this is going to be good at is for having enough health to be able to take hits while simultaneously being able to do more damage than you would be able to with just shooter. So you want a little bit extra time. Maybe you're getting a lot of skills off. Maybe you're not lasting quite the full 8 rounds. This team would do very well, especially if you're using Dark Giant. I will do a video about Dark Giant. I kind of underestimated last time because I'm not a carrier main. He is basically a free-to-play equivalent of Banshee Panda, which in a way makes him a free-to-play or a carrier version of GT. So they're somewhat interchangeable. For PvP's perspective, because that's all Dark Giant is good at, really, you would want him always in the front row. As the row sort of folds back, and if he gets defeated, GT can step up and he can use his skills to stall the first 2 lines, and in one case 3 lines, all 3. Now if it's more, if you're doing, you can do this for PvE as well, which is important. And that would be, you would want Giant Tooth, Slim Arch, and Reap Master. Again, Reap Master you want to be 2-starred. And you want that second skill max. The first skill is not as important as the second. The last thing, I'm going to go over this again, but from a shooter perspective, where you're trying to maximize attack, you want Bandit, Mimicry, and Reap. And you want, with this formation, you want all attack bonuses, like with cells and genes and stuff. This is going to be for PvP. Don't use this for PvE. Watch my last video, I explained why Guardians aren't good. Definitely don't use it for Groundhogs. But you want to, some people are going to be like, oh my god, one of Rock Bandit's skills doesn't fire, etc, etc. That's not why you want Rock Bandit. You don't want him for the skill, which only is available. It basically makes him an equivalent of Dark Giant for carriers. So this is basically a specific unit version of Banshee Panda. So, I'm sorry, I said Giant Tooth for Dark Giant earlier. It's a free-to-play version. Dark Giant's a free-to-play version of Banshee Panda as well. So you get 100% counter damage to shooter ants. That's the big thing. He also does a good amount of damage here. This is you're gonna want this formation more for damage than you are the secondary effects. I don't know what this is at level 10. Let's go see. So it still does 209% damage. It's more likely than not to fire. And yeah. So this is honestly, he hits more like a DPS than he does a support. Let's just double check this. So the first two units are also going to gain a counter damage for shooters. So this is going to be a shooter versus shooter PvP format. Obviously, Mimicry and Reap Master you want there for not only DPS. So Reap isn't just DPS like most people think. Most people don't read his skills, they see high damage output. Oh my god, I want him. That's not the only reason. I think Reap has something similar too. Let's see. They both also have a suppression effect, which makes them very, very efficient as PvP damage dealers. And also against lizards if you're having trouble. And there is an update. I'm going to tell you what the update says, and I'm going to give my own speculation about what I think it's going to include and how it's going to change the game. The next thing we're going to go over for mixed troop units is carrier shooter. This one is not as popular. Most people who go carrier, they go all carrier. It is feasible, similar to the carrier shooter. This is an extra step beyond that. So you want the extra health, you want and you don't care as much about the HP. So you want overall better stats, but you want more attack, I guess is the gist of it, and you want more damage from the final skill. Now, because of that, again, you want Reap Master 2-starred. You want Shikari Master 2-starred. Or Golden Venom. Golden Venom is probably over that, but he also hits a bit inconsistently. So unless you are somehow able to get him 2-starred, which I don't know if it's possible or not. I'm not pay to win. If someone knows, please correct me in the comments below. And obviously you want Giant Tooth or Dark in both of these formations, Dark Giant up front. I do need to speak. So that being said, where'd it go? Here it is. Giant Tooth would be with Dark Giant. You want Giant Tooth in second row. We already established that. Or if you need just strictly more damage with a little bit more damage, a little less stall. Depending on your situation, you can substitute Shikari Master in there. And then JJ, if you want to hit this, in this case, you want to hit more consistently than if you had Reap Master. Just all the way around. Because JJ is, no matter what star he's at, he's more consistent. He just does a little bit less damage. Because you have two stalls in there, so you want to consistently be able to hammer away and fire those skills. You don't want that chance that you're going to fire them in there. And while Reap Master is good, he still does, I think he does more damage at 2-star than JJ does. To be most efficient for that, you want him either at 5 or 8 stars. Because each 2, 5, and 8 stars, he does significantly more consistent damage and high damage at that. The next one would be Guardian Carrier. This one I haven't seen used. I haven't got to test it out either. I don't have T8 Guardians yet to test this. And as we're going to talk about in a minute, that's going to be important, is to have everything roughly the same level. But if I were to make it, I would do Rock Bandit again for the same reason. GT is when Rock Bandit dies, you'll have GT there, and then either Shikari Master or Golden Venom. This would be if you want more defense. So let's say someone with shooters is killing you and you just can't beat them, you could try this formation out. I don't know if it's going to work. I have not got to test it. I don't have anyone that's willing to test it for me. Because few people have Max Rock Bandit because it, for some reason, it has this reputation as being a bad ant. Eventually, people will realize it's good, but that's the way I would do it if I was building that formation. Black Cancer, unless it's full Black Cancer is majorly nerfed. Similar to Rock Bandit, its formation is best when it's all Guardians. The next one's going to be for Guardian mains. The point of Guardian mains, if you were to do a mixed troop formation, and you are a Guardian main, most of your Evos are Guardians, would be you have better stalls. It's a better counter to debuff if you're looking to switch to do it this way. And it has a slightly higher amount of health or attack. Well, health and attack in this case, because Guardians have the lowest attack. So whether you want the extra health or the extra attack is up to you. But these are the only ways I could see it run. Again, I'm not a Guardian main. This is more from a perspective of if I were to do it, this is what would work as it stands right now. Again, Rock Bandit, Giant Tooth, Shikari Master. You got plenty of stalls, plenty of suppression. If you are being rallied or if you're in a rally, this would do because you still get the garrison boost for your first two, while you also have the health to keep your troops. And if you were to have multiple units, let's say you have your people garrison inside your troop tunnel, this would almost guarantee you that there would be a after effect from them so with all three of these having stalls, I'm sorry, it's the next three, or it's the next one that would have all stalls. It would be most useful, whether it's in a squirter or a resource tunnel, whatever you're garrisoned in, if you have anyone else that's after you, to have a silence or suppression effect immediately start the first round. You could even get really, really strategic and have, say, someone, I don't know if you're a Guardian main and you're a whale or you're pay to win, you could do this formation. The next person could be free to play. You could have a third person come in there with Banshee Panda or Dark Giant or Rock Bandit again. And then at the end have Golden Sugar or Acid General or both, and or have Shikari Master, Rape Master, or Mimicry Master at the end to carry it over for a fourth round. This is mostly going to be for if you're garrisoned, because that's the main point in having Guardians, which is also why I have a second team here that I didn't have at the top or two extra teams for shooters. I've already talked about Giant Tooth, why he's good, so I'm not going to go over that. Guardian Shooter allows you to Rock Bandit, Mimicry Master, Rape Master. Again, this is going to be for more if you're garrisoned. This is what would work. Giant Tooth, Rock Bandit, JJ. In this case, you want Giant Tooth to be able to stall as long as possible while Rock Bandit can get to work, give consistent damage with JJ, and alternately you could have Giant Tooth Slim and Rape Master get two bars of health here, 2 extra bonuses of health, which you need for Guardians, and you get Rape Master. And at this, depending on what you're at, I think at T8, Guardians actually have the highest health now, so that would definitely help you. So, that's pretty much the video. I have a shorter video I'm doing, gonna be geared more towards noobs, and I have a Groundhog tier list I'm going to be doing, I don't know when, maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. It's going to be coming soon. Someone requested it. I'm not in a rush to make it because this isn't Groundhog Week when I'm filming this. This is SVS Week. So I'm not in a rush to make it. I will make it before, for sure, before next Groundhog Day. Yeah, I'm getting tongue-tied. Done a lot of talking today. Also losing my voice again a little bit. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy the videos, and have a great day. This production, I realized I forgot to adjust the update that's coming in. It will change. I don't know how much of what I just talked about is going to change. So hopefully, if you're watching this before the February 14th update, this helps you guys. Basically, what's going to happen is so the key things here is when all three of a certain kind of ant are in the same formation, they will get an extra boost. The second important thing to note here is that if you are facing a mismatch, so if you're dueling or you're in Crystal Mine and you're facing, let's say you have T9 and you're facing someone again that has T8, you are going to have an extra boost that you can get through evolution to better be able to combat them. So I see a lot of people with T8 Guardians killing T9 shooters right now. It probably won't be possible to do that. To me, that's the biggest thing about this update. If I'm guessing, my prediction is they won't have a huge stat boost for having all three types. They don't want to interrupt the cells and genes and germs that you have to pay to get. I would guess that's probably going to be around another 30 to 50% boost, so it's around 5 to 10% extra attack and or defense or whatever that you can get. My other guess would be it's probably going to be unit specific, so shooters will get more attack, carriers will get more health, and guardians will probably get more defense, maybe more attack, if there's not two things, so maybe they all get health. And I don't know what they would do for carriers, but that's probably my guess at what it would be. I don't know how much it's going to change the game, because by the time you can unlock that research, I'm guessing it's probably going to be for Q25, maybe Q23. You probably have to have your Evo fungi all the way up. At that point, you already have advanced combat. Advanced combat doesn't affect too much. The combat speed helps in certain situations, but if you have mixed troop formation, it generally counters it, and it even overcomes the stat difference. Unless you have both of those Evos max, I think that would probably be the difference. You would have to have both of them 100% max for it to make a real difference in the game. This is speculation though, don't quote me. We will have to see when the game comes out. I won't make a video initially unless they put something else that they didn't announce. The other thing is, if you are pay to win and you have Parada, it's been broken. You can use it with other different types. The fairies did say that is going to be fixed as well. So those are the three big things. The tributes of the soldiers in duel will be improved. That is going to affect everyone if you're in queen or dual queens. So everyone's stats are getting improved. It's unless you don't have skill 1 at 6 max, it's not going to affect you at all. Have a great day, y'all.